Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the 30 Coupe build here in the Keeping Them Classic garage. Last time we focused on getting the radiator out. I ended up taking the crossbar off with the headlights, all that stuff. Today we're gonna work on getting the fenders off, the side steps, and then hopefully we'll get to getting the rear spare tire mount off also. I was kind of looking around, and this is what 90 years of crud underneath one nut looks like, so it's probably going to be fun trying to get to all these. There's a handful of screws that are up here with square nuts on the bottom that come off of the frame. You can kind of see the one up front there, and those are what these go through. So we just kind of reach around and hold it with a screwdriver, or hold it with a pair of pliers and turn it with a screwdriver. You can see the seam kind of goes along here. We're probably going to hold off on pulling this part out because we're probably going to have to lift the body up a little bit. So I'm going to wait until I dedicate a day to that. But if you look under here, there's a handful of bolts that go through, and they're kind of camouflaged in all the crud, but I think there's 3 there, so we'll try that. And then on the back side, you see how the bracket kind of goes up the side of this, and then up to the top. So and you can see where that curved piece that comes underneath the body bolts to also. And then here's your brackets. So those will come off later too. So it should be fun. I'll probably end up stopping at some point just so it's not 20 minutes of time lapse, but you can see right here, that was where the headlight bar mounts to. And then right here, we got that too. So if it doesn't come off, we'll just keep looking for screws and bolts and nuts and everything else. So, wish me luck. Alright, let me show you the progress so far. The 4 screws from the hood springs came out fine, but I'm so happy that they used flathead, which is typical, but it's flathead screws, and we all know how awesome those come out. So I'm going to attempt to drill them out because I was able to get the bolts off of the bumper, but I still can't get anything to free up because these screws screw into the back side. I don't know if you can see it or not. I don't know. I'm trying to see it here, but yeah, see? It goes across, it's all the way on the right hand side of the screen. That's what these screw into. So I'm gonna try a couple more things, maybe throw a wrench on it, maybe that'll do it. But yeah, so far so good. Okay, well, that really didn't go that smooth. So, got the camera here. Yep, I had to pretty much murder this thing to get it off. So, these stupid flathead screws weren't working for me. So, it was pry bar and cutting wheel. So, that's that. Nope, that can't be reused. I mean, I guess somebody could, but, and I probably won't throw it away. But I just didn't want to do too much damage to the fenders themselves, which I had to cut. I had to drill this one out because same thing, I couldn't get in there. And now with this gone, I could probably get in there a little bit better. So I should have just waited, but you live and learn. And we should be able to get this one out, provided it's not too rusted on there. So you can see right at the top there. So I'll give it a whirl. If not, I'll just drill it out. And then start working on these two. So that way everything on the front here is done, and then I could just start working down each side. So it'll look a lot cooler, a lot different. So we'll see. It's just these bolts and everything are so damn seized on there. It's 90-year-old car, what do you expect? So, all right, here we go again. Okay, so as you can see, I had to drill these out. It's not pretty, but had to do it. We cut the heads off of these, which it was nice because this is the only booger spot right there. But I mean, that's easier to work over. In the event that I was going to keep these, you know, maybe I will keep them and just work them over and have them ready for the next build. Who knows? If someone wants to buy them, let me know. But I think a lot of that stuff is just going to end up being cut off. And I learned that lesson on that build up there. Either you cut them off or you break them off, because that's what rust does. So we'll anything else that we put on here will be all stainless. So that way, in the event that somebody else wants to change something else later on, they won't have to worry about it. But they're not gonna have to worry about any fenders anyways. And I already did break one of my flathead bits. That's when I said, screw it, I'm just gonna start cutting these things off. So Back at it. Okay, there's 2 bolts up there, and those are giving me the problem. So I'm gonna have to figure something out, because they're just spinning on the top, and they're just carriage bolts. So let me bend my mind a little bit, see if we can figure something out to get this thing off of there. Okay, well that was a lot of work, not gonna lie. There was 3 bolts that were hanging me up. 2 of them were the body bolts under here that were right next to that seam, and then the other one right in here, which I don't know if you could see on there, but there's a bolt in there right at the front corner of the body. So initially I started and I couldn't get them to stop spinning, and they're carriage bolts. So what I did was I tacked them in place with the welder, and then I was able to get them free. And then that front corner bolt came off okay. It was just tough. Then I got the arm off of the frame and the fender right there. And then all we had to do was just get it over the wheel and then just kind of start sliding it out. I ended up first, I did put the pry bar in there a little bit just to kind of get it free, but kind of necessary. So once it kind of got free and started moving around, came right off. So it was a lot of work. There's a lot of rusted bolts on here, and that's what you get when you're playing with these 90-year-old cars. But I'm gonna clean up because this is an absolute mess and I hate working like that. So I'm gonna clean up and then we'll get after the rest of it. All right, well, we're gonna attack the back fenders today. These shouldn't be as hard because it doesn't go underneath the body. So when we get to the side steps, then we'll have to worry about that, I think. But right now, it's just a bunch of bolts around here. You can kind of see them up in a corner. I'm hoping, I'm praying that they don't start spinning on the back side and we could just get these off of there. This is probably about 10 bolts and that's it. And it should come off. And then we'll check the condition of everything underneath there. All right, let's get after it. All right, well, that's the rear fender off. It's just a handful of bolts. These were bad because they were all rusted. A couple of them broke off. A couple of them I had to cut off. So just keep that in mind. Once you start something like this, have the tools to do it, as far as either a cutting wheel on like a 4.5 inch grinder, or an air cutoff wheel, or mini sawzall, whatever you can. Sometimes these bolts just, they're not gonna come off. So you gotta go other means other than a socket and a wrench. So keep that in mind. And I'm not gonna video the other side because it's the same thing as this side. So I'm gonna video the side step here, and that'll be that. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to write them in the comments below. Click subscribe on our YouTube channel here, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Our Instagram is @KeepingThemClassic, and our Facebook is Keeping Them Classic Garage 777. And then the website is www.keepingthemclassicgarage.com, where you can get some pretty cool hoodies. I got stickers, magnets, shop banners, whatever you guys want. It's on there, and then it's always got an inventory of what we got for sale too. So right now it's this guy. So head over to the website, check it out, and thanks for watching. Here's the side step. Well, here it is, all done. At least the driver's side anyways, or passenger side. We just ground off the rivets that held the brackets on. We'll clean those up. We're gonna have to clean up the frame rails anyways. When you're taking the side steps off, the body mounts you don't have to remove. I just got them loose, and I could kind of feel in there that it didn't seem like it went all the way through. So that was what I was trying. So, and it worked. There was only 2 bolts that go through, one towards the front and then one towards the back. You'll see it, they're 7/16 nuts. You get those off of there. That's what I ended up having to cut underneath there because, again, they were seized up. So I cut those off, and just pop them through with the air chisel. We'll clean, like I said, we're gonna clean up underneath here. There's a little bit of rust back there in the rear wheel well that we'll patch up. It was a lot of work, I'm not gonna lie. If you don't have the tools to do it, it's gonna make it a lot harder. So before you do that, make sure you have the right tools. And here's a little safety tip. You can see when I use the grinder, I got at least goggles on, but I like to use a face shield. When I was grinding up one of the rivets that hold the bracket on, that kind of let loose. Luckily, it just went flying across the garage and it didn't come back at me, but as you can see, there's another half that's somewhere around here, but it's not embedded in me, so I'm happy with that. But I had gloves on, I have my welding coat on, face shield and glasses, so safety first. You won't even see that coming. So be careful out there. Like I said, if you ain't got the tools to do it, find a way to do it, or find a way to get the tools. Otherwise, it's gonna be a hell of a lot harder to do. But just got the rest of the driver's side to do, and we'll have that done tomorrow. So, like I said, if you got questions, comments, go ahead and write them in the comments below. Click subscribe. You can check out our website, www.keepingthemclassicgarage.com. Check out the merch, our inventory. Right now, we got this beauty. She's for sale. You can check out all the other cars that we've sold in the past. You can follow us on Facebook, Keeping Them Classic Garage 777, and Instagram is @KeepingThemClassic. Thanks for watching. See you next time.